Welcome back to FPL Faff with Jez, Jack, and Jim. I'm Jez.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Jim.
Boys, just one quick question.
Hit me.
Who, out of the three of us this week, who got the most points? Just answer me that.
Oh,
I got 49.
Did you?
I did.
It's almost as if for weeks I've been calling you shit. Jim?
That's surprising. Why did you only get 49, Jack? Is there someone?
Was there one important player you left on the bench?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Curious.
I mean, I've been looking at my squad actually. I've been looking at my squad of 15, and the player with the highest number of points was my first sub. Yeah, he didn't come on. It is Thomas Souček.
Yeah.
Frustratingly, I've been singing his praises all season as that value fifth midfielder, and then he goes and gets his highest. I can't even talk about it. He gets his highest point score of the season, and he's sitting on my bench. What makes it worse is I'm looking at Bamford, Calvert-Lewin, Son, De Bruyne, Grealish. In fact, actually, the whole of my team got lower points than he did, which makes me slightly sick.
What was going through your mind when you had him on your first sub, mate? Because I made my only transfer was to get rid of Foden for Souček, and
what a move!
Yeah. Firmly placed in my midfield and
Smart.
happy days. But what was going through your mind?
So I was feeling like I wanted to punch myself. But the only, obviously they played on. They were the first game. I think they were on the Friday night. So I spent the whole weekend not even looking forward to the fixtures. I was actually just hoping that one of my midfielders or strikers wouldn't play, so Souček could come on, and that actually summed up the game week. I wasn't looking forward to any games because I saw all of my outfield players were playing, meaning that he wasn't going to come on. Honestly, disaster.
Generally, this was a pretty naff game week as well. A lot of the big boys didn't do anything. There weren't a lot of goals in it. It was just a bit.
So I think James Justin, who is still in a lot of teams this season, I think, including yours, Jez. Yes, we know.
What were you saying last week, Jez?
I was saying how excellent of a player James Justin is, and that I will never get rid of him.
Outrageous.
I was just going to say that I think a lot of teams actually stuck with him despite the poor run that he's actually had. Like, he's been playing very well, but that hasn't transitioned into FPL points. But to come, he was, along with James Maddison, he was incredible yesterday. There's no doubt about it. Great player.
He was running the game.
Mm-hmm.
He was fantastic. I'd like to think, for his sake, that even with Castagna and Pereira coming back, he's still got a bit of a run in the team. Like, I think he's done what he's justified the fact that he's a decent player. And I was looking actually through Leicester's team yesterday. They're, despite, apart from Vardy up top, for obvious reasons he's there, but it's a young team. They've got Fofana. I think he's 19. They've got.
I'm very impressed with him.
Completely. They've got Tielemans, who's not old. Like, he's mid-20s, but a lot of their team, Harvey Barnes coming through. Obviously James Maddison. They're a decent outfit. They looked very good yesterday, Leicester.
They did, and it's surprising, especially considering their performances in the last few weeks. And they are kind of up the top of the table, but they've just been hit and miss this season. But yesterday they just looked like they had it together. And fair enough, Brighton aren't the best team in the league, but they usually put up a pretty good fight, and yesterday they just rolled over.
I think we were waiting, weren't we, for particularly James Maddison. He's one of those where the quality's there. I think it's just been a consistency issue for him this season. But him and Vardy, when they're on point, they were fantastic. Yes, I mean, that finish for Justin's second goal, dancing with his feet, takes it on his left and pings it top corner. Great player.
I could not believe that.
Crushed it. He was just crushing it. That was on Mads' left foot as well.
It was. Yeah. It was. He was very, very good. Shall we go through? I mean, we've already laughed at my horrific score this week, but shall we? I'd love to hear how you boys got on.
Yeah, I got 57 points. So just below you, Jez, which was how much?
Well, 6 points below me. One might say that's quite a fair distance. A bit of a tiny turn up there.
Where are you in our league? You are.
I believe I'm in 5th place in our FPL Faff. Do you know what? That's a good segue. If you were listening to this podcast and you're like, man, Jack sounds really easy to beat, and he is. Get in our FPL Faff mini league using the code DKSORK. Stick that in, DKSORK, and then you'll be able to laugh along with us at how terrible Jack's decision making is.
And try and beat me. Come on, bring it. Come on.
Jim, you're coming back down. I'm telling you, I'm clawing you back 6 points at a time. Just another 40 weeks, and I'll be there.
Yeah, maybe.
40 weeks to take 40 weeks to take you into next season, mate.
Exactly.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It just happens that you're going backwards, mate. So that's all good.
Jim.
Yeah.
How did you go?
Okay, my points. So a solid 6 points from McCarthy. Southampton were excellent. Zuma, Ayling and Chilwell, no points. Both Zuma and Chilwell. Well, who thought that Everton were gonna absolutely, literally? I mean, it was only 1-0, but they were incredible.
They were good.
It was a very entertaining game.
It was 1-0 with a really bad goalkeeping decision and a penalty. I wouldn't,
but they kept that lead well. I thought Everton, Chelsea, they started to come out the second half. Everton, they were resilient. I thought, it made me look at Everton differently. I thought they were able to stop goals from going in, and they did a decent job of that. I thought that was worth noting. I mean, I'm not looking at any of their defenders anytime soon, but it did make me think that they're starting to turn it around. Actually, and to show the form that they were performing at the start of the season.
Yeah.
I think that might be their first clean sheet of the season, unless I'm mistaken.
It was actually. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Which is crazy against Chelsea, which are incredible attacking.
Who would have seen that?
Yeah. Well, clearly I didn't, because I had 2 Chelsea fucking defenders, didn't I?
Oh god, horrific!
Brutal. Because they've been saving me for the last countless weeks. They've been on form clearly, but I'm happy the boys, the real blue boys, not the fake Southern blue boys. Brought it. We would have had another penalty as well, clear penalty, but sadly it was ruled offside. So it would have been 2-0, just saying. Anyway, so I've got Son, 5 points, great. Fernandes, 3 points. I mean, the Manchester derby was bleak, to say best. Not Van der Beek, but bleak. And
bloody hell.
Right, that's the end of the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
But yeah, 3 points. Salah 16. I had my captain. I should have captained Souček or Kane.
Well, at least you got Souček in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and 57 points. I mean, all things considered, not terrible. Yeah.
Decent week.
Yeah, not bad.
All right,
not
Jez.
bad. I mean, not great. I'll let me just read out the points of a real team. So I also had McCarthy in goal. Big 6 points from him. That was nice. I did bring in Reece James for Max Kilman, it was basically a nothing move. I had 1 point each from my 2 players who played on the bench, so fine. Reece James got 1. Fine, it is what it is. Considering the game that he had, and I think he hit the post twice. He should have got some points. That feels like a bit unfair, but
shoulda, coulda, woulda, didn't.
Yeah, shut up. Ben Chilwell did not turn up this week. 2 points from him. Fine. The best player and best right back in Premier League history, James Justin, 11 big ones. I
can't believe that. I literally still can't believe it.
The thing is, he was great.
Yeah.
He was great. Leicester were great. He deserves every one of those points.
Yeah, but after
the fact that he
nearly got him out, I'm going to interrupt you because you have been sending me pictures of different defenders in replacement of James Justin for literally for the last 2 weeks. I should have told you to do it. Who were you going to bring in? It was going to be.
It was going to be Lamptey at one stage.
It was going to be Lamptey.
Mistake.
Which is excellent. You were even looking at Stones and even going back into other pods. You hate Stones. I'm still looking at
Stones. I do. I hate him. I'm not picking him because he's a good player. I'm really picking him because he's 4.8 and plays for City. And he's just started 3 games in a row and had 3 clean sheets, I think.
Yeah. Well, I should have snaked you and told you to do it because I'm furious that you got those points from Justin.
You should have, but you didn't. And so he makes 11 points in my team. I also had Bruno, Mo Salah, and Heung-min Son in the midfield, so that's 3, 8, and 5 respectively. And I had Zaha, who has flown up in value. I brought him in was it last week or the week before? I think I've made 0.3 or 0.4 in value from him already.
Yeah, he's done very well. Yeah.
So he didn't do anything at the weekend, but that's fine. Grealish also 2 points from him. Fine, it's just one of those weeks. I did make a smart captaincy choice and picked Kane, so he got 9, which turned into 18 for me and really rectified my week. I finished it up with Bamford and 5. Jack, how are you looking with your measly 49?
Yeah, measly is probably the right word there. Never nice to be below the average. The average was 51 this week. Yeah, not very good. The only thing that makes it better is I did have a good game week last week, so it's kind of starting to balance out, but never really.
You crushed it last week.
You did.
It is. It was a good game week, but never nice to see that kind of fall. I had. Sorry, mate, go on.
No, I was just going to say you're at least still at another good week, and you might be able to take me. So. On top of the league, so
no chance, mate. I think
still in reaching distance.
The one thing, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be reaching distance for a lot of teams now. But one thing I was pleased about was going into this game week having not made a transfer. So I've got 2 transfers this week, which I'm always pleased about.
What are you going to do with them? That is the question.
I will tell you after my team, because I think a lot of it will start to become clear. So McCarthy, same as you both, 6 points, fantastic. A very, very flat defence of Robertson, Corfau and Chilwell all getting 2 points each. Not ideal.
Lovely.
I captained Salah, like most people did. He came in with 16. He was lucky to get 16, so it could have been a lot worse.
He did nothing the whole game.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the pen. Even the pen was crap. So
it was awful.
Yeah, it wasn't nice. I mean, Son, is he going to leave my team? Absolutely not. He came in with another attacking return, only an assist, but better than nothing. De Bruyne, 3 points. One of the worst games this season, in my opinion. That Manchester derby, that was very, very disappointing. Jack Grealish, 2, again disappointing. Calvert-Lewin, Bamford. Assist a piece for the 2 of them, and then Callum Wilson with a solitary point. That late booking just making me regret the Souček decision even more. Really, really pissed me off. And obviously, Souček on the bench and Mitchell, who is still in my team. And oh God, Button, my sub goalie, and Jared Branthwaite. Oh, I need to delete the team.
I love that you got him and Mitchell still in it. Branthwaite and Mitchell, they're never seen.
One injury and you're in big trouble.
and never seen the group pitch again.
No, and I'll tell you why, because particularly around Christmas and the busy kind of crazy schedule that we've got, having one sub that plays is not very. It's not great, and I need to figure that out. But as I say, two transfers this week. I think we're looking to rectify that. I hope.
Okay.
Which are.
So I looked at Jack Grealish, and I thought I'm not really liking your fixtures coming up in the next 3. I mean, he's got Burnley, West Brom, and Palace in the next 3. Then after that, he's got Chelsea, United, Tottenham, and Everton, and I just don't think I want to have him sticking around for that.
Yeah, but for the next 3, come on, man. You're not going to get rid of him ahead of Burnley and West Brom.
But more importantly, who are you thinking of bringing?
Well,
in
I was going to say
him?
I was going to say I am, for the reason that this is probably the week, almost certainly, that Bruno enters my team.
Whoa!
So, okay, but
big things.
Big things, but big mistakes also.
Why?
Because Jack Grealish is going to do unspeakable things this weekend. You know that is factual.
But so's Fernandes. He's got Sheffield United away. We know that Fernandes only gets points away. He doesn't do it at Old Trafford.
Totally, but I
think Sheffield United boys.
I think that's silly. Personally,
Sheffield United, they can't score for even if you give them an open goal.
I'm not going to lie. Bruno is going to have my armband this weekend. But
Same.
I'm also equally happy to have Grealish in my team. I don't know. I think you've got to try to work out a way to have them both.
So there is another option where I keep Grealish because I like him, and he's a really good player to transition into like a Zaha or a Maddison or someone like that. Mm-hmm. He's a really interesting player. But equally like a Ziyech, to be honest, when he's back from injury, I could probably hang around for that. Sure. There's either that option or I keep Grealish, and then I have Fernandes, Salah, De Bruyne and Son as well, which I obviously love the look of, which gives me that power five, which I feel is probably going to stay for the rest of the season. It does mean that I'm going to have to get rid of Calvert-Lewin, which I don't want to do because he's on fire this season. And I don't really want to get rid of him. And that would leave me with probably Bamford and Wilson as my front two, which again is just not filling me with confidence. I like having three up top. And Calvert-Lewin, Bamford and Wilson, they've been great all season. Really nice price points. I've got a lot of value from Calvert-Lewin. But if I keep the three of them, I have to get rid of one of the four in midfield. And it's probably going to be Grealish because Salah, De Bruyne and Son, they're just not moving for me.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we like to play different tactics. I mean, case in point, I've got Brewster who's sitting on my bench and will not leave that bench probably at 4.5. I hope he never plays another minute.
Third sub all.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
I mean, for me, second sub because I've still got Jimmy Dunn in my team, who's also not going to leave because he lost value from 4 to 3.9. So what good is that to me?
Oh my god! But I should have mentioned what that allows me to do. If I take out Souček, which I just want to do because of this weekend, if I get him out, Bruno in, I have to get rid of Calvert-Lewin to put in Brewster. There's a big gap in value from Calvert-Lewin. It's over 3 million for me with the value. So I can that's a lot of money saved, which I can then plough into my much needed defence. And what I'm looking at right now is Chilwell, Corfau, John Stones, and most likely Reguilon from Tottenham, who he's playing like a left winger. He's a fantastic asset for him. So that gives me my power five, my two up top, and my four in defence. So at the very least, I've got a decent first sub there. It's quite exciting, but it's one of those where I'm kind of banking on the midfield, and the rest of my team is probably going to suffer. But I don't know. I've got 24 hours to make that decision, less than even. So we'll see.
That's true. We're looking at a Tuesday. So when we were talking about scheduling this pod this week, you said, let's do it on Monday. And I'm like, well, it has to be on Monday because the game week starts tomorrow.
Absolutely. How about you, Jez? Are you making any changes this week?
So I've tossed and turned on this a little bit. As Jim was saying, I was sending him screenshots before the Leicester game even started, and I said, okay, I'm just going to hold on and see how it goes and then make my decision. But I was looking at John Stones, I was looking at Lamptey, I was looking at Konsa. I couldn't afford Vestergaard by 0.1, but I'm looking at him anyway. And then Justin turned up, and really in my whole squad, he's the only one whose place I'm not sure about right now. So this week, because of that performance, he's going to stay.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm banking the transfer. Wow.
I am. The thing is, the next week, I don't even know if I'm going to use two. I don't know what I would use it for because I've got no value sitting on my bench to really trade for anything worthwhile. I've got no leftover value. I've used it all but 0.1.
It would be nice if you had.
I'm pretty happy with my team.
It would be nice if you had a value of 104.2.
Bloody hell.
Look, sure, but my value this past week has skyrocketed. I think I started last week at 102.8, and now I'm looking at 103.3.
That's huge, yeah. It is huge.
So Konsa's an interesting one because I was looking at him the other day. I thought 4.7 was actually interesting for a player like him. He's got 2 goals this season, but Villa have kept 5 clean sheets in 12 games.
Yes.
Which is shocking to me. I didn't realise it was that good. I feel like that's something actually to take note of because there's, apart from, I think Tyrone Mings is slightly more, he's well in.
Yeah, he's
kind of
5.3.
He's 5.3. Yeah.
5.3, right. So, you've got Konsa at 4.7, but I was actually looking at Matt Targett, who's 4.5, and he's a really nice enabler. If he's playing the same minutes as Konsa's not going to score too many other goals this season, but Targett is going to get the same. He hasn't missed a minute.
You're not bringing Targett in. I remember Jack, saying him before.
Yeah. You said something about only wanting to get actual good footballers in your team.
So I am a massive believer of that. But the shape of my team right now, if I'm going for this power 5, I need to be looking at 4.5s that are playing every minute and they're actually keeping goals out. And I'm looking at that target and I'm thinking, oh God, it pains me to say, but he's one of those players. Same for Dallas. I mean, he gets forwards, don't get me wrong, but Leeds, I'm not looking at Leeds for clean sheets. I don't see it with them. I know recently I think they got a couple of clean sheets in the last 4, but other than that, they've been a little dry. It's not really...
What I will say about Leeds is they've sort of changed their formation, or at least who's playing where, and they've pushed Dallas into a central attacking midfielder position and brought in Alioski to play in his position at the back on the left side. So, if they can get some okay defensive returns, he's getting a clean sheet there. But even then, if he's not, he's going to be in and around the box and doing bits. I'm not sure that he's the best player at that price point. I mean, he still is in my team, but he's definitely not worth overlooking, I think.
Yeah.
So back on Villa and why I was looking at Konsa is, so obviously Villa had their game postponed last week, and they didn't play in game week 1. So towards the back half of the season, they're looking at 2 double game weeks. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah. Which is a good segue into what I'm about to say, because I have made one transfer. And
Phil Foden in. Nice.
Yeah, I've done that twice this season already. Is it going to happen again? It probably is. Will I learn? No. But do I somehow get benefited from doing it? Yeah, sure. I don't know how, but I tend to do all right, even if I do a mistake on bringing Phil in. But yeah, I've taken only one transfer to do another transfer next week, which will be in 2 days' time. And I've taken out Max Kelman.
Yep. Smart.
For Cancelo.
Way,
also
nice.
Smart. That's huge.
How much do you have in the bank?
Oh, mate, I've got tons.
Nice.
All that 104.3 money.
That is. So obviously Max was, I made 0.1 on him. He did go down. He went up to what?
I think he made 4.3 at his peak.
No, it was 4.4, I swear.
No,
because I had him as 4.2 to sell. But now I only sold him at 4.1. So I made 0.1 on him. And so 4.1 to bring in Cancelo, who was 5.5. And then I'm going to also tell you what my next change will be, and it's going to be for 8 Nuri because Wolves are looking a bit shaky.
Also, I told you when you first brought him in, he's probably not going to play consistently.
I know, but I do really like him as a player, and he's rarely attacking. And when he does play,
I like lots of players as a player. It doesn't mean they get picked every week.
Exactly. So I just thought anyway, I'm going to take him out for Mings, which is what we've just been
saying.
Nice.
So my back 4 will be Chilwell, Zuma, Mings, and Cancelo for the foreseeable future.
It's very strong.
With
really
my,
hope that Mendy starts playing at left back. But okay.
with my my midfield, which is Son, Fernandez, Salah, Souček, and Mahrez. I'm looking at captaining either Fernandez or Mahrez, because I think Mahrez is one of those players that he's playing consistently now. He will have a turn up, have a couple like low key games, and then he'll do another turn up. I think at home to West Brom, I think that's a turn up.
You have to think it's inevitable.
You do.
I also think, like, whether it is or not, you look at City's fixtures. If it's not this game, it's bound to be another game soon.
Yeah.
Like at least he's starting. He's starting a lot. Like he was pulled at 65 minutes against United. He didn't perform well, but I don't think anyone really did, to be honest. But you look at, they got West Brom after that, Southampton, Newcastle, Everton, then Chelsea. And then it's just a sea of green fixtures. Brighton, Palace, West Brom again, Sheffield United, Burnley. Like they're ready to go, City. I feel like it's a matter of time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And a double game week. And now I've got 2 City players, which I'm happy about to potentially benefit from a double game week. And then up front I've got Kane and Wilson. So I'm like pretty happy with next week's, and I think I might have to captain Bruno because it's against Sheffield. I think any team that's going up against Sheffield, you just captain whoever you've got, it is, totally. Because you're gonna benefit massively.
For sure.
That's a nice segue. Let's just talk about some of the games from the weekend. So starting with Southampton, obviously they just ruined Sheffield. Just ruined them.
Yeah. Outrageous.
They've got lots of players who are worth looking at. You've got Ings, even Shea Adams, he's coming at a nice price point. He's doing bits. James Ward-Prowse, we already know about. Vestergaard, Meathead, love all of that. He got his head on everything that was in the air on the weekend.
Yeah, he did. He was he was good on the weekend. I like Shea Adams actually, and I like him because even when Ings is or in out the side, he still seems to perform well. Shea Adams. Not only that, not only does he perform well, but he plays the games. Like I think he started every game this season, which for a player,
he's been consistent. Definitely different than how they were looking last season, and they look more threatening. And honestly, where they are on the table now, I think that could last.
Totally. Southampton looking like a different team. This time last season, I thought they were relegation candidates. I mean, I don't know what's happened to them in the last 12 months. They've come.
I remember being in a pub with Jim and seeing just goal after goal go in 9-0 against Leicester.
Absolutely. Like we're seeing a completely different side. He's really gotten playing well. Even Nathan Redmond comes off the bench. He scores in 3 minutes. Like you can tell, there's players within the squad that are just so happy to be playing for that team. Like it's a really, really great team cohesion. They'll do very well this season, Southampton. I don't think it will last. I don't think they'll get Europe, but it'll be a top 10 finish. It'll be a great campaign and something that they can build on for next season.
Yeah. So there was a couple of surprising results at the weekend. The first of which was Palace. Well, one of the last of which actually was Palace against Spurs. So that game frustrated me, seeing Kane get every lovely shot that he put on target saved. Thankfully, so it just blew my mind. I want to say Gaida.
Yeah,
Gator, isn't it? Gator.
Oh man, I don't know. That just looks like a bunch of letters to me.
He's incredible. Like nothing was getting past him. Except for,
nothing was getting past him except the only shot that went straight at him.
I want to bring some normality to the situation. Palace have kept 1 clean sheet this season, and he's played every minute. But for this game on the weekend, he was. Do you know what it was? It was the Eric Dyer free kick at the end of the game, It was destined for the top. It was a great hit.
It was.
That looks to me like Trippier circa 2018 in the World Cup.
Oh, mate, don't. Best memory of my life. I was like, that's going in. And Tottenham won the game. And as an Arsenal fan, I'd be gutted. But he's incredible. He had a really, really good game. I think Palace, I don't know, a bit like Fulham against Liverpool, to be honest. They'd probably be kicking themselves if they didn't get the 3 points. I think they were start the second half. I thought Eze was fantastic. He's a really good talent.
He looks very talented.
Yeah, I like him a lot. Great player.
I'm sorry, I've got to interrupt because you said as an Arsenal fan, and I know I'm skipping it. As an Arsenal fan, how do you feel with Aubameyang? He finally got on the score sheet. Yeah.
This is a podcast about FPL, so I'm going to keep my thoughts to FPL only, and I'm going to keep a very, very humble approach here that Aubameyang hasn't had a good season, and I won't be considering him in my team.
Please, let's not look back at Gameweek 1.
Do not listen back to Gameweek 1. Yeah, definitely. Was he in all of our teams? Yes, he was.
But also, you look at it after 2 games, he got a goal and an assist in 2 games. And if that's anyone else, you're thinking, right, I'm going to stick with this guy because he's decent. He got a penalty against United, and that's the only other thing he's done this season. I don't want to go there. But actually, interesting fact, probably a fact of the podcast, De Bruyne has not scored a goal this season from open play in the Premier League.
Wow.
I think that's the reason why he is not in my team.
I think that's surprising. After 12 game weeks, he's obviously coming through with the assist, but I'm looking...
he's not looked as threatening as last year, and I think it was going to be difficult to match that sort of intensity. But City as a whole, they're a great side, I'm sure, but they're not quite what they were last season, and even last season they weren't quite what they were the season before.
I think last season, like Liverpool were just too good, right? But I am banking hard on their fixtures. I feel like I wanted to do it earlier, and I'm glad I didn't because they weren't ready for it. I got De Bruyne in. 2 weeks ago, he got that 14-point haul. He had 10 before that, which I missed. But I just can't ignore until the 2nd of February their fixtures. I think Chelsea are their hardest game. They got that away at Stamford Bridge on the 2nd of Jan. Other than that, it's just, you wouldn't be surprised if they won all of those games. And I'm hoping that he does something there. But I thought that was a really interesting stat. That you don't normally see that from De Bruyne.
No, absolutely not. But are you going to captain De Bruyne at home to West Brom? Absolutely.
Yes.
Like that's
right now in my team, yes. If I get Fernandes in, that changes it because I'd like to.
I don't know, man. I think it's a differential. I don't have Kevin De Bruyne. I'm sitting top of the league. I'm ahead by about 20 odd points than you.
Yeah, but differentials go both ways. If Fernandes turns up and you've captained KDB and he plays 63 minutes and does nothing.
True.
De Bruyne is going to pull the strings against West Brom. They're playing at the Etihad. West Brom are, they're fighting for their lives down there. City are going to rule this game. There's no question of that. And I feel like he's going to be the pivotal point. Probably for 90 minutes, he's going to be a guy that's going to be dictating. He's going to be doing the assists. He might have a goal in him also. I'd be surprised if he didn't get double points in this. So that's why I want to go for him. But I looked at Fernandes. I don't know what it is. Whenever he's playing away from home, it's always points. He doesn't. It doesn't happen at Old Trafford. But when he's playing away from home, he's always getting something. And on the weekend they're playing the team that have got 1 point all season. It's a no. It should, on paper, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. I'm going to throw it out there, and I'm not saying this loosely. I think that Bruno Fernandes is the best player in the Premier League right now.
I agree with you. I think he's.
I disagree with you.
Well, yeah, we know that you have feelings for Kevin De Bruyne, but. Look, at the moment, right now, it's Bruno. I'm sorry, it is.
It's Harry Kane. I wouldn't think twice. He's been the player of the season. He's attacking. Actually, you know what? He's attacking.
I immediately take it back. It is Harry Kane. You're right.
He's attacking. He's defending. He's assisting. He is doing everything.
I hear you, and I also agree. But like, we're talking about Harry Kane, who's been, a tried and tested striker, and he is on another level this season with 9 goals and 10 assists. That's incredible. But I'm talking about a player that literally is still brand new in the Premier League. Really, he's done 2 half seasons now. So
not even. Yeah.
So that's and really encouraging signs going forward. But
he's been fantastic.
Kane and
both of
Son.
them. I mean, they've both been great. I think what makes it different with Fernandes is I feel like he's carrying United. I don't think there's any other Man United player who is close to him this season. I think you can look at Rashford, who's been a little bit injured, but when he's played, he's done well. Other than that, he streaks ahead. I think it's those two.
Another injury as well on his shoulder, or was he back from that?
I think that's fake news. I think he's good for the next game week. But United without Fernandes, I think Solskjaer is facing the sack, and I don't think there's anyone.
He's going to be having a very sad Christmas. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And on that note, shall we go into the transfers in and out this week?
Yes,
absolutely, we shall. Let's, as always, we'll start with the top 10 transfers in. And by a country mile, actually, Wilfried Zaha is number 1. As we've already talked about, his value's already gone skyrocket. Number 2 is James Ward-Prowse, who is having a fantastic season, as we all know. Number 3 is Jack Grealish.
Yep.
Number 4 is Souček.
I'm finally in there. I was about to say, should I be worried that I haven't got any of those players in yet?
No, mate. After the game he had, it's got 2 and 2 for a 4.9 midfielder.
Very soon you're going to have 7 mil sitting on your bench, just so you know.
Exactly. Oh, don't remind me. Number 5 is Kevin De Bruyne. Smart. I think people are looking at the fixtures and he's the guy. Number 6 is Bruno. Number 7 is Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 8 is Patricio Bamford.
Slow Bam Wagon.
Number 9, really interesting to see this, I agree entirely, is Jared Bowen, who's been a really, really good player for West Ham this season.
Underrated as well,
He's been doing bits the whole season,
He's been great, 4 goals, 2 assists, but he's on corners, he's a great player. And this actually definition of bandwagon, number 10 is... Number 10 is James no, it's not. James Maddison.
Yes.
Who's done sweet FA all season. All of a sudden, he gets a couple of goals against Brighton, 16 points, 3 bonus, and he's in everyone's team. But no, with good reason, because he's very good. Leicester's fixtures scare me. I'm not looking. I'm not interested in that. We'll go to the top 10 transfers out, and Jota is number 1, unsurprisingly, with a million managers getting him out.
Well,
really
he
happy
looks
about
to be out
that.
until March now. That's a huge blow to Liverpool. Obviously, he had probably the brightest start to a Liverpool career that anyone's had, and then just like that, the flame's gone out.
Well, it took him a while to get into it, didn't he? Like, he was kind of playing sub appearances for the first one, and then all of a sudden he got that run of games, and he's got 5 goals in probably 6-7 games.
5 goals in 63 minutes. Yeah.
I'm not upset about this. I'm not upset about this news.
I think it makes sense.
You are a prick.
It makes sense. He's out for 3 months, and we're coming to a busy fixture period, so he's out. Number 2, for the same reason, James Rodriguez, who seems to kind of almost turn off from game week 4. I don't really know what happened here. He was doing fantastic, and all of a sudden he's either not playing or trickling with points.
He was the best player in the world to now he's like, who are you again?
Yeah.
Don't worry. That's me saying this. Yeah.
I think his time will come. I mean, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin are there. They're the poor man's Kane and Son, but whenever they're playing, they're doing well together.
The leading goal scorer in the league. Oh man.
Yeah, he's oh god,
how awful. Savage.
Yeah, that is savage. Yeah,
but it's also correct.
But also, honest. I mean, yeah, completely. You're comparing two world-class players at Tottenham.
Move on.
Number 3 is Ziyech.
Yeah.
Who has got Hakim Ziyech? Yeah, he's got a hamstring injury. He's out until early January. Number 4 is he's suspended until the following game week. Is Hector Bellerin. Not only is he getting transferred out because he's suspended, but just because he's a shit player. So he's
the most garbage player to play in the Premier League for some time. And believe me, I really think some players that are in the league are trash.
Mm-hmm.
He's a waste of space that's fairly quick. That's what he is.
Yeah, he's absolutely one of those. So he's out. Timo Werner hasn't scored in 4 games. He's number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Max Kilman, he's the latest Mitchell. He is out. He is number 6 on this list. Number 7 is Sadio Mane, who I'm gonna say it. I'm saddened by his lack of form. 4 goals and 4 assists for a player of his price and his quality. I don't really know why he's having the season he is.
He's been doing okay. He hasn't been in that situation as much. You know, he's been doing bits a little bit less far up the field.
If he was on pens, then keep him in, but he's not.
Sure.
So I saw something the other day. He's got in the last 2 full seasons before this one, he scored 40 Premier League goals, which is incredible, right? Liverpool are amazing. He's effectively a striker or a left forward, whatever you want to call it. But he's showing no signs of that this season. I'd like to think he can improve it because he's now the same price as Kevin De Bruyne, which is a really interesting position.
There's not even a choice there. Like, I'm sorry, but Kevin De Bruyne is going to, I know I've been pretty harsh on him and I don't want him in my team just yet, even though they've got great fixtures, but there's no choice there.
No, I'm with you. Kevin De Bruyne's the one there, but I feel like when you're looking at players who are either, if I had Kevin De Bruyne who was injured, and I'm looking at a replacement for the same price, I'd like to think that Mane could eventually, there's no reason he couldn't score a couple of goals, in any game week. He's got that level of quality. Sure. Maybe he'll come good. Number 7 was Mane. Number 8 is Salah, who has been shipped out. Yeah, I'm surprised to see that.
Interesting. I mean, he's sitting on 95 points. Yeah, he is very expensive, but...
Do you know what that is? I think that's people swapping him for KDB, and I'm thinking that KDB, Big Kev, will perform better at home to West Brom than at home to Spurs, which is probably about right.
I think you're right, Jim. And as we saw, Kevin De Bruyne was in the top 10 list, so that's probably some thinking behind it. Number 9, Tyrick Mitchell. Oh, God, his value's going to go down even more.
Correct.
And number 10.
Get him out.
What are you doing? You've got 2 free transfers. Use them.
Oh, God, nah. Not on him. He's my second sub. And I can't... I'm looking at this. I'm starting to get a little bit angry. Number 10 is Jamie Vardy. And before you give your reaction, I'm looking at the last 3 weeks. Game week 10, 5 points. Game week 11, 8 points. Game week 12, 13 points. Why? Unless you're looking for a cheaper option up front so you can fund your midfield, why would you be getting rid of him?
I think you've said it though. That's the only logical reason to do that. But even then, it's stupid.
Or it's Harry Kane coming in. Harry Kane's still 10.9. I think that what is Vardy now? I think 10.3.
Yeah, but so I agree with that. But I'm looking at Tottenham's next fixtures, and I'm very conscious of this with Son. They've got Liverpool, Leicester, and Wolves away all next, and that doesn't fill me with points potential for Kane. I feel like he's always there on pens, and he's a great player, and we've already talked about that. But
by the same token, look at Vardy's next 3 fixtures. They've got Everton, Tottenham, Man U. I mean.
Good point.
That's about the same, really.
Also, guys, I think Spurs are going to be going up for the title this season.
Spurs are going to finish second. Saying it right here and now.
I'm thinking it's going to be either Chelsea or Spurs, really.
Yeah, I think Chelsea's... I saw a press conference with Frank Lampard the other day, and he was talking about Chelsea's squad and how everyone's saying that they're young, they've got room to grow, but then they've got the media telling them that they're going to win the league because they're not conceding goals and stuff. I actually looked at Frank Lampard, I thought, well, he's actually spot on. He's got a really good team there, really good squad, but they're very young. Like they got room to grow. Like if it was in 2 years' time and they've still got the same squad as they are now, absolutely. I feel like Havertz would probably be, going to call it now, I think he could be up in the same realm as Kevin De Bruyne in terms of influence on the team and ability. I think Havertz is another level.
He's another Chelsea player with Hazard. Like, he was incredible. I reckon Havertz will be like a Hazard.
Havertz plays he's a playmaker. He'll get the ball. He'll know exactly where everyone is on the pitch at the right time, and he'll just dictate the play. Same as De Bruyne. Like, he's not going to be one of those players he's scoring every week, but he is. Like the guy's 21. Like, the guy's got years ahead of him he will be that guy.
I don't think he's ever going to reach that level of Kevin De Bruyne. I'm not saying he's going to be a bad player. We all know that I don't want him in my fantasy team at the moment. I said this season he's not going to be at his peak, and he will get better in years to come, but I don't think he'll reach that level.
I think the saving grace for Havertz, not that saving grace is too dramatic, but he's got his manager is the player that he's looking to emulate. And I think that's a really, really great thing for him. And Chelsea will always, they'll do well off that. They're very good at that.
I wouldn't want to be in his shoes, though. Come on. Like, trying to replace Lampard.
No, but I think that's good.
Jesus.
I mean, who else do you want to learn from but probably one of the best players who's ever played that position?
True.
Like, I don't think Havertz has got the defensive qualities that Lampard had. Like, Lampard, definition of box-to-box midfielder. But, I think Havertz will be looking at Lampard's goal scoring ability and thinking, that's me. That's one that I'm gonna try and look to emulate.
Yeah.
Shall we get into the fixtures for this week?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So first up, we've got Wolves Chelsea.
I'm calling it right now. It's going to be 3-0 to Chelsea.
I'm going to go 2-0.
I'm also going to say 3-0. I think that Chile and Reece James are both going to get returns.
I mean, maybe.
Well, I mean, of course, maybe.
It's going to be Kurt, Chile, and Havertz. That's what it's going to be.
Okay, wrong. Manchester City, West Brom.
Hang on, just a quick one. Who's Chile? I'm going through the transfers. I'm trying to find Chile. Is he a player?
Chile, Chilwell.
But also, Jack. You said 2-0 as well. Who do you think is going to score?
For Chelsea, I think Timo Werner is going to disappoint the players that got him out. I think he will score. And I think Tammy Abraham.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, City, West Brom. Do we even need to say a score here?
Are we allowed to go into double figures?
It might be.
Honestly, if there's going to be a game all season that goes into double figures, I think this is it.
I'm going to keep it respectable. I'm going to go. To be honest, there's been a lot of talk about Slavan Bilic's job at West Brom, and I think that if they got rid of him, they wouldn't find anyone better. I'm going to go 3-0 City. It'll be convincing, but West Brom they'll try and stick it out.
Mine's close in like the deficit of goals, but I'm going to be 4-1 to Chelsea. To City. Sorry, I think West Brom will score, but it will be 4-1 to City.
Jim, I agree with you in the sense that I think West Brom's going to score. I think it'll be a really gross goal, and I think it's going to be 7-1.
7-1? Are you?
Sorry, this game is going to be embarrassing. I think this could be the one that pushes Bilic over the edge.
7-1, mate. No.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. I think he'll be joining Ole and having a very sad Christmas.
Also, I don't think West Brom are going to score a horrible goal. I think it's going to be one of the best goals of the season.
No, I still don't. City's defense, no matter how much money they spend on it, I just don't trust those guys at the back.
Well, Cancelo's getting a hat trick, so let's just leave it like that.
Look, he might, but I'm saying I don't trust them to defend. I'm not saying I don't trust them to attack. Arsenal, Southampton. I think this one could be interesting, mostly because I like to see Arsenal
Could
lose.
it be interesting? Could it? I think
it's effectively 12 on 10. You know, Aubameyang's just basically playing for the other team at this point.
I think it's a must-win for Arsenal.
It's a must. It's a must-win for Arsenal, and I think actually, I think the red card for Xhaka could be a blessing in disguise, because what's going to happen here is Arteta's thinking, shit, we're not scoring goals. Xhaka is not a goal scorer. I think it might come in someone like Willock, who is naturally more attacking, and I think that would be helpful in a game like this. And we're at home, and there will be fans, and they will be on the back of the players. And I am going to go for an Arsenal win.
I don't think there will be fans. So I don't know if you guys have seen the news, but I think London has just moved into Tier 3. So no fans in at the weekend. Well, hang on.
Yeah, it'll be on Wednesday.
No. When are they playing? That's Wednesday. Yeah, so no.
No, you're spot on. Even still, I feel like there's a reason that Xhaka, naturally a CDM rather than a cam. I feel like Willock will play that more attacking role, and I think that might encourage more goals. And I think that might be a bit of a test to Southampton. I'm gonna go 2-1 Arsenal, and this will hopefully be the game that turns around their season.
Okay, incorrect, Jim. What do you reckon?
For Arsenal's sake, and even for Arteta, I know a lot of the fans want him out already, but I think he is definitely for the long term. Like he will prove the dividends. But I'd like to say Arsenal's going to win, but I think it's going to be 2-1 to Southampton.
No,
I'm going to agree with you there. I think it's 2-1 Southampton.
Sorry, Jack.
Adams and Ings are both going to get on the score sheet. It's going to be beautiful.
They're just in great form, mate, and they're such a good team at the moment.
They're just a better team.
No, I'm with you. They are much better.
Leeds, Newcastle. Wow, rude.
Yeah, 1-1. I think it's not going to be that entertaining. I don't think this one. Even though they both play better football than some of the players, like Fulham and Sheffield and West Brom. Sorry for all of them, but it's just fact right now. I think it's got 1-1 on this. I don't think either side will take it.
Yeah, I think Newcastle, they don't really do draws. They either win or lose. I would have thought a draw. I'm gonna back Leeds here. I think they haven't been on the best run. I think they got one win in 5 or 6 games, but I'm gonna back them. I'm gonna say 2-1 Leeds.
Okay. I think Leeds are going to score early and fail to hold on to the lead. I reckon it's going to be a late one, and it's going to be 1-1. Leicester, Everton.
Not looking forward to this, especially with how they were playing, how they've just played. How they were playing like a couple games previously, I'll be like, yes, bring it. I'd love to play them right now. But no. I think it's sadly I think Leicester's going to win. But I'm gonna say 3-1 to Everton. Yes. Am I wrong? Yes.
Yeah,
but that's it.
Go on, Jack. Be the voice of reason.
No, I don't know. I think both teams are off the back of good results on the weekend. I mean, Leicester, they came out of this game week really well. A lot of the big teams dropped points. They a lot of draws in there. Leicester got all 3, so they've already kind of got that 2-point gap. I'm going to say this will be a close fought game. I'm going to go 1-1.
Okay.
I'll take that. I'll take that all day long.
2-1 to Everton, just because I think it'll make Jim sad, and that's what we like here at FPL Faff.
2-1 to Everton. Nice one, mate.
2-1 to Leicester.
Yeah, you said 2-1 to Everton.
Did I say 2-1 to Everton?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to edit that out.
No,
Fulham, Brighton.
You're not going to edit that out. Fulham, Brighton.
Yeah, I'm not. I think this could actually be the game of the week. I know that sounds a bit strange, but
no, I think you're right. I think both of the. I mean, you can't really on recent form. This for me, it's got a draw written all over it. I think Fulham looked very good against Liverpool. We've got to talk about that. They were fantastic. I've got to say, throughout the game, they started very well, and I thought, they've had a great 20-25 minutes here. But to their credit, they carried it on the whole game. I was really impressed. I'm gonna go 1-1.
Okay. Jim?
I'm gonna. Do you know what I think Fulham might take it, even though they have been in terrible form, and Brighton have been playing well. I think Brighton are going to be really unlucky. I'm going to say 2-1 to Fulham.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I actually think this is going to be quite a resounding victory, sadly. I think this is going to be 2-0 or even 3-0 to Fulham.
Just quickly, where do you think they're going to get the goals from?
I think Lookman's going to do bits. I think Loftus-Cheek will score. And tell you what, I saw a really interesting play from, I struggle to say his name.
Decordova-Reid.
Decordova-Reid. I can't say that.
You sound like me, mate.
I do. I know. Moving on, Liverpool Spurs, the game we all want to watch. It will probably be really dull because we'll all tune in. I'm going to start this one off. It's going to be 2-2. Why not?
I agree. Spot on. 2-2. Goals.
I think there's going to be quite a few goals. It's going to be really open. Unless Mourinho decides to, park the bus. I hate that phrase. I think he does too. But clearly he's going to be listening to my every word. So, he might try and play a little bit more defensively. I'm going to say 3-2 to Spurs.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jack, did you already say yours?
Yeah, no, I think 2-2. I think you're right, Jim. I think Mourinho will want to park the bus. I think he'll be looking to not lose. It's at Anfield. I think if he can come away with not losing, I think he'd be happy with that. But I think even when you're parking the bus against a team like Liverpool, they have the ability to score goals. They didn't do it on the weekend, but I think they can. We're talking about Salah, Mane. They got goals throughout the team. It will be difficult.
They'll be raring to go.
They will be. But it will be difficult without Jota. I think he's become more and more important to the way they play. I do think a draw 2-2.
Yeah, Liverpool going to have more of the possession? Absolutely. But will they both like to play counter-attacking football? But I think at the moment, the best at this season is Spurs at counter-attacking. So
it is.
That's how I think they're going to take it. That's why, they'll win.
Okay. West Ham Palace.
This might be the game. We haven't got the name for it yet.
Oh, there's the unnamed don't tune in game of the week.
No, I think that's harsh. No, it's not. And I'll tell you why. Because Crystal Palace have discovered how to score goals this season, and they haven't ever done that really before. I think
ever in history.
Well, I think what's interesting for Palace, you've got the signing of Eze was key because it allows someone like Zaha to have a bit of a free rein. Really, he kind of approaches games where he's not the one and only asset they have now. Like Eze kind of joins that, so it takes the pressure of Zaha. He can he's free to roam, and I think that's going to open up the way they play. And it's only those two. It's not Benteke. It's not Jordan Ayew. It's really just those two players. And obviously, West Ham is sitting in 6th after 12 games, and who would have thought that? So,
correct. Yeah, I think fair.
I think it'll be tight. I'm going to go not for a boring game, but I do think it'll be a draw. I'm going to go 1-1.
Okay.
I will agree. Souček will score, and so will
false.
I don't care who scores for Palace. Sorry, Mitchell.
Okay.
I can tell you, not only is he not playing, but he's actually injured. So he's definitely just summing it up, really.
This one's got 0-0 written all over it for me. There's going to be nothing to talk about. Aston Villa, Burnley.
This has got a draw, I think. I'm going to say 1-1.
Okay.
I think a bit like Newcastle, Villa haven't had a draw this season. God, it's one of those that can swing anyway. I mean, El Ghazi got that last minute pen. I wouldn't surprise me if it happened again.
That's I
don't know. But
it's got a 1-0 on it. To be fair, I think you're right.
Looking on the balance, I'm with you, Joe. I'm going to go 1-1. I do think it will be a draw.
I'm going to disagree with you both. I'm going to say this is a resounding 3-0 win to Villa.
Whoa!
My man JG is going to be all over it. And the last game of the week, and possibly the most, with the exception of the City game, possibly the most one-sided, Sheffield versus Man U.
The last game of the week. This is interesting because that's going to be my captain. and I don't want to be relying on my captain to save my week, but I think I might have to. Well, if it's not 4-0 to United, I don't know. I might just retire.
Do it.
I'm going to go 3-0 United, and unpopular opinion, Martial to get a hat-trick.
Whoa.
Martial's not going to play, and that's fact. He's so lazy, and he's been found out. It's going to be Greenwood and Rashford up front, and it's going to be 4-0 to United.
All of them by Bruno.
Yeah, we hope so. And so that brings us to the end of this week's wrap-up. Just once again, just shout out if you do want to join our FPL Faff mini league, you can do so with the code DKSORK. Go and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Click subscribe on the YouTube channel, and go listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Guys, this has been good. And until next game week, which is tomorrow, it's been good.
Yeah, until a couple of days. Boop, boop, boop.
Have a good one.